What's up, everyone? Bryan here from Xact IT Solutions. I wanted to come to you today to bring you some information about a question that I get asked quite often by business owners. And a lot of business owners ask me, I've talked to IT firms or I've never bought IT services before. I've never hired an IT person. What should I be spending on IT in my business? And you might already be spending money on IT support in your business, and this will be a good video for you to learn if you're spending enough or spending too much. So we're going to dig into that here. We're going to learn about best practices across businesses that we know about throughout the world. And we're going to talk about, different support options for different levels of businesses, how much revenue you do and how mature your business is. Because most people that I talk to, they spend what they spend on IT is whatever they get charged. So they get a bill in, they pay it. They get a bill in from their IT company, they pay it. They get a bill in for a server or for some computers, they pay it. They pay their salary for their IT person, and they just pay it. They might have a pretty good idea of a number, but they don't really know how to dial that number in and how to actually budget for technology. So I'm going to go into a lot of that today. Try to do a fairly quick video here, but there's a lot of information to go over. So if you do see anything in this video that you liked, that you learned, that you thought was funny, that you thought was weird, give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. Hit that like button on the video. And if you're so inclined, hit subscribe and hit the little alert bell, and we'll have Google send you alerts every time I upload new content, new videos, because we like to do that stuff here. But we only like to do it when you give us good feedback. And if you have any questions about anything I'm going to cover, drop them in the comments below. We'd love to answer any questions anyone has about anything related to technology, cybersecurity, and what you should spend on IT. So let's get into it. So essentially today in the world we live in, there's about three options for support. You're going to hire your own employee. You're going to either outsource it to an IT firm or a managed service provider. We even have managed security providers today. Either or, you're going to outsource it to a third-party company, or you might just hire a guy, a girl, a guy, a friend, your nephew, just graduated college, probably a bad idea. And then you have the hybrid model. Hybrid model is, you provide some support or you have some on-site resource at your office or dedicated to your business who's either your employee or they're provided to you by a third-party company. So we're going to get into a little bit of the hybrid model and when that's a right fit for businesses as well. So digging in a little deeper here, I'm going to go through three businesses just to keep the numbers simple. We're going to assume that everybody spends 3 to 6% on IT on all these cases. Now, 3 to 6% is the average across a lot of different industries that we look at. That's the average spend of top line revenue that companies are spending on support for technology. Doesn't include servers, doesn't include the stuff you buy, the software, things like that. Just how much are you going to pay for somebody to come in and be an expert for technology in my business? That's what these numbers focus on. Now, if your business is not under a lot of compliance, under a lot of laws for cybersecurity and data protection, you can hedge your bet more towards 3-4%. If you have a lot of compliance, if you're on the flip side of that and you have regulations, you're in financial services, you're under HIPAA, you have to follow certain things, you have to do cybersecurity and data protection the right way, you're going to be closer to 6%. Some of you may even go 8%, even 10%. It really just depends on the business that you're in. If you're in like defense contracting, you're probably going to be closer to 8 to 10%. So it really just depends on the type of business that you have. So use my percentages as they apply to you. So we're going to look at business number one. They have a revenue of $1 million. We're going to go with that average IT budget of 3 to 6%, which shakes out to be $30,000 to $60,000 per year. So 30 to 60,000 per year, that might get a lot of business owners thinking, well, you know what, I need to go hire a person to handle my IT. Here's the problem with that. Number one, at 30 to 60,000, you're getting an entry level person. So they're not going to be very experienced. And is that really an asset in your business? More than likely, this person is going to be learning on your dime. Not only that, what we see in this business is in the first 3 years, salaries of junior level or level 1 technicians jump about 50% from the time they're hired to about 2 to 3 years in. If they're really good, they're going to jump in the first year. So, you know, if your budget is only $30,000 to $60,000, that's one resource. And you're going to need to expect that resource to be a short timer in your business. They're not going to stay very long because they're going to get a higher offer monetarily somewhere else. Here are the other things you need to think about if you're deciding whether or not you're going to outsource or hire your own person. Who's this person going to eat lunch with? Who are they going to get along with in your business? Technicians like to be around other technicians. They like to talk tech. They like to talk shop. If your office is full of accountants and lawyers, how well is that person going to mesh in that environment? How well are they going to want to be there every single day? And when things get mundane and things get boring, throughout the day, and plus that person's going to be dealing with everything in your business, from issues around like people not being able to bold things in Word and emails, all the way up to dealing with your cybersecurity and things like that. The reality of it is somebody with that much experience and that much knowledge is going to cost you well over $100,000. So, if you're at $1 million, hiring your own person really isn't a great idea. That's why IT service firms and IT managed service providers exist, is so that you can get an IT department in your business for a fraction of the cost for what it would do on your own. Now, I wouldn't go hybrid at this level at all. Hybrid is really for companies that either need an on-site resource at a low level, but can also work with an IT company for the bigger things, and if that on-site resource can't do so well. And then we also see the hybrid model where they have an IT director or a CIO who is in charge of running the strategy behind the IT, but they hire an outside firm to actually implement and execute on the strategy. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more here. So let's jump into business number 2. They make $5 million a year. Continue on with the same IT budget. We're looking at $150,000 to $300,000 per year to spend on IT. And this is an opportunity where someone's going to go, well, I at least need to hire one person at this point. And I'm going to say not so fast. With this kind of spend right here between $150,000 and $300,000, you might want to think about putting a level 1 entry level person on site to help maybe 50, 60, 70 employees that you have in your business. They are able to respond quicker, and they are able to handle minor requests, which will typically save you some money if you decide to outsource. Now, I still think at this level that outsourcing all your IT is a good idea if you're with the right partner that is doing a very good job for your business. Meaning they're meeting with you on a regular basis, say quarterly or monthly, to talk about strategy and planning, and focus you in on what your technology is doing for your business to make it a competitive advantage for you. To make you understand what costs what and why, and giving you a roadmap that allows you to see 2-3 years down the road what you're going to spend and what your technology is going to do for you. If you're not getting those kinds of things from your IT provider, you're probably better off reining things in a little bit and getting either a better IT provider or finding someone who understands what world-class IT support looks like within your business and help you get that in your business. Because you're at 5 million, you want to make sure that you have the right people in place and doing the right things. And if you don't have the right technology provider, your competition might, and they might be getting a leg up on you just because they're working with a better company and a better infrastructure, and their network runs better, and they're better protected from cybersecurity threats and all those things. But if you're at this level and you want to consider like a hybrid model, and you don't want to fully outsource, you want to look at definitely hiring a lower level tech and then hiring your IT firm or your managed service provider to do the bigger things and be your trusted partner in helping you make decisions to guide your business around technology. So those are the levels that we see work here. This is not the time to hire a CIO, an IT director, or anything like that. Those pieces you can still outsource. You want to make sure that your workforce can stay efficient at this stage. So having somebody on site to quickly respond and somebody who has access to, your IT company, the tools that they use and things like that is a very good relationship that works really well. That resource can be your own employee, or you can get that from the IT company as a dedicated resource that comes to your office 40 hours a week. That's what we see work at this level, and that's what I recommend for sure if you're between that 1 and 5 million mark. Now let's move on. Business number 3, they have 10 million in total revenue, with same IT budget percentage. They're looking at a budget of 300 to 600,000 per year. Now, this type of business, because they're probably already building out their C-suite, they should be looking at building out their own internal IT team. Start with hiring an IT director, a CIO, a CISO, somebody who can work with the CEO on strategy and do the things that need to be done in order to set the business up for success when it comes to the technology in the business. You want to have somebody within the company who sets the strategy, and then you can determine the best way to execute on that strategy. That might look like a hybrid model where you have somebody come in and do a piece of what you're trying to do. So a good system or a good relationship that we see work really well here is when the company hires a CIO and starts to build out their lower level help desk, meaning they're doing a similar setup that I talked about in the last example with the business at 5 million, but they have the CIO who's an employee of the company, and then they also have 1 or 2 lower level techs helping out on the front lines. Those 1 or 2 techs that you have can be the help desk. They can help the users. The CIO or the CISO or the VP of IT or whatever you want to call them works with the CEO and helps them, execute the strategy. And in between the CIO and the 2 techs that you might have, you will have an IT company that may come in and help you manage the infrastructure, monitor the infrastructure, make sure things are being maintained and patched the way that they should be. They work with your 2 frontline techs to make sure that they're supporting them and they're able to help them, get the things done that need to be done within your environment. You can also work with an outside provider for cybersecurity and making sure that all the things around cybersecurity need to be done while you still provide your employees with support from your own internal resources. There's a lot of different things you can do to partner up with an IT firm or a managed service provider when you're at a 10 million plus level. The interesting thing about technology that's happened is that, just like your doctor, you go to a generalist for, your colds and flus and when you're not feeling well. But what you don't do is you don't go to your general doctor if you need heart surgery or brain surgery or you have cancer. They send you to specialists. And that's what IT has transformed into over 25, 30 years. We now have specialists who work in the field that are experts at things like cybersecurity, network infrastructure, server management. There's even guys that are experts with compliance. But you're rarely going to find a jack of all trades who's good at everything. They may be good at the strategy, but they probably aren't very good at the execution, or they're very good at execution, but they don't know how to do strategy. So the best thing that you can do as a CEO at this level is have your right-hand person up in your C-suite with you, have them build out a small team of support staff that can help with the day-to-day things, because you're a fairly large company at this stage with a lot of employees, and then work with a managed service provider on the cybersecurity, firewall management, backup management, infrastructure management, and really get the help around those areas that really don't impact your workforce, your end users, but they're important to do, because if you don't do those things, you're going to find yourself in a big problem one day that your internal staff may not be able to handle for you in a timely manner, which leads to just bigger problems and downtimes and all those issues. So I hope this video was informative to you. Like I said, if you learned anything here, hit the like button. That's the only fee that we charge for putting out these YouTube videos. Hit the subscribe if you like our channel and you want to see more of this stuff. We do put out a weekly series called Guess Who Got Hacked and Attacked this week, which we will be releasing another one, I think, tomorrow. But I wanted to get this video out there about how much I should spend on IT support in my business, because we get the question a lot, and I wanted to answer it the best I could. And I hope this was informative to you, and I look forward to bringing you more videos here in the near future. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you soon.